so cheap. Second, are you freaking kidding?
Fortnite have been trying to transition a sweet little battle royale game to this multi all-in-one game. In this video, let's talk about Rocket Racing and how it went from 630k players to just 80k players in a few days, and at this current time frame it's at just 4,000 players. Let's rewind to December 2023 when Rocket Racing was released. The game mode is handled by Phoenix, or however you say it, which is the creators of Rocket League and known for doing the least they can possibly get away with. Apparently, with this game mode they released, they had the minimum amount of professional developers working on this, which of course is going to make the overall quality of the game mode really bad. But anyhow, the reason for the low developers is since the company had a layoff of developers in September 2023, which is a few months before the actual release of Rocket Racing, speculating they most likely be near to or had finished the game mode at this point, which would also make sense that there is absolutely zero updates for the game mode and it has been like 7 months. My creative map gets more updates than Rocket Racing and I'm just the one handling them. But unlike in Rocket League, you actually get to race like a track, you know what I mean, like F1, Forza, you're in a track, you're in a car and you're racing with others. Now I had to play this game mode when it came out and it is so time consuming just to rank up, and when you do rank up you always seem to be up against the same-ish players, which it makes sense how little the demographic is actually playing the game. The glitchiness in Rocket Racing is unbearable as well. The ping delay between the players, even if you're on a good ping and good internet speed, is horrible as well. You would finish a race in first on your screen clearly, but in the results table you'll be second. If you didn't pay attention in the intro, this is exactly why Nick was raging. As you can see clearly, this other guy, he overpasses him, but at the very second Nick laps him and he still came second, which is ridiculous. That alone would make me rage quit. It clearly seemed that Epic just rushed the whole mode. It feels like a community made a creative project that Epic just made it official, not actually made by professional developers themselves. Epic just doesn't give a shit, and let me explain why. Firstly, there are absolutely zero useful rewards, and by useful I mean stuff like back bling, skins, emotes, stuff that you know you've gotten and you can flex to others that you have gotten. Even if they gave out cars or decals for the cars to stay in theme with the Rocket Racing theme, they would have gotten away with and people would have started grinding. At the current moment, there is zero incentive for casual battle royale players to jump in some Rocket Racing and start playing because it gives nothing. They give out 5k XP per race, which is less than if you play creative for 10 minutes, and I'm gonna assure you creative is so much more fun than this because there's so much options you can pick from. But wait, there's even more to this. You only get 5,000 XP and that's on a maximum after a 6-minute race. So of course no new players are lured into playing this game mode as it offers completely nothing. A casual player wouldn't even consider playing Rocket Racing over creative, for example, because creative just gives a lot more XP, has more variation and lots of options that you can pick from, and is essentially just more fun to play on. You'd rather shoot people and play on according to your own style and drive a car in Rocket Racing where the game mode is just stale and boring. To kill the poor game mode completely, Epic doesn't even have any other racing maps. There are just a couple of racing tracks, and once you play the game mode for about 10 minutes, you would have cycled through all of them. There is zero repeatability, there is no variation, so the players that enjoy Rocket Racing are just there, gassed out and bored, because the same thing keeps on happening. Now let's talk about the ways that Rocket Racing can improve, starting with the tracks to race on. This will increase the repeatability instantly. Having more maps will mean more variation and more to learn for the players. If there is more for the player to learn, this will take them more time to learn, and they will carry on playing the game mode for longer to perfect their turns, to perfect how they get the boost, how they latch onto the wall and stuff like that more and more. I would also like to see some type of competitive side to Rocket Racing, even if it's $50 per week, just Epic giving out something. This would give more incentive for the players to actually learn how to drive in Rocket Racing, learn the game mode and start playing it, and especially more incentive for the higher ranked players, players such as in Unreal, because once you get to Unreal, you've got nothing to work towards. There's nothing to do. The game is done, and they can carry on practicing their skills if they are in Unreal to win the $50 or have a chance at winning the $50. Having a tournament for money and allowing only players above platinum, like they do with Battle Royale, to participate in would make the players that ain't already in platinum grind to platinum, and this would of course increase the amount of players that are playing Rocket Racing, increase the amount of people that are going to be playing Rocket Racing in ranked, so you're not going to be seeing the same players over and over again. This will also have an effect on the people that ain't playing the game mode at all and have a shot at winning the money. I also want to add a side note and say Epic, no one is willing to spend 3,500 V-Bucks on a Lambo in Rocket Racing. They should know that if players ain't caring about the game mode as a whole, why would someone buy cosmetics for it? It just doesn't make sense to me, and I get it's for BR also and a little bit of Rocket League, but in Rocket League the Lambo isn't even useful. The useful car is Octane, but still it's very overpriced. If they would lower the cost for the add-ons, people would consider buying the car and essentially giving them more incentive to play Rocket Racing. As usually if you buy a thing that is more expensive such as $10, you are willing to get 100% value out of it, so they'll might give Rocket Racing a try. With cars now fully incorporated into the game, Epic making them essential part in this Battle Royale season, I believe they should put in Rocket Racing assets in creative, so creative makers can make their own tracks, own maps, and be creative with the laps or point-to-point races and so on. This would unlock a new realm in Rocket Racing, and maybe the developers themselves could get some type of inspiration, because clearly they need that right now. And from this as a whole, the people in the community that like Rocket Racing will have more variation. The developers really didn't have to do anything because the community would be making the maps. This would of course get people start talking about Rocket Racing, and people would just stop playing it as a whole. Lastly, like I said above, adding better rewards for Battle Royale in Rocket Racing would go a long way in getting people to jump in Rocket Racing and grind for a back bling per se, thus increasing the player count. And if they could even add a skin, even if they could add V-Bucks, if they add V-Bucks, oh my god, I'm telling you, the player count of Rocket Racing is shooting in the sky. They're gonna have so many people playing the game just for the V-Bucks. People are going to force themselves to play the game, and some may even like it and stick with it, which is why it's essential for Epic Games to just give out some type of rewards and have just some type of incentive for people to jump back on it. And that's me, guys. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, let me know down in the comments below what you think of this whole situation and why Rocket Racing is at where it is right now. If you did enjoy it, again, leave a like and subscribe. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm, and peace out.